The year was 1998. Hassan and his family had no choice but to move into the old village house inherited from his grandfather due to financial difficulties. The house was located at the outskirts of the village, near the forest, and something about it unsettled Hassan. But they had no other options. The villagers spoke in hushed tones whenever this house was mentioned. "No one can stay there for long," they would whisper. Hassan dismissed these as mere superstitions. However, just before moving in, an elderly woman from the village approached him and whispered a warning. "Don't enter certain rooms, my son. And whatever you do, don't touch what's behind the kitchen door." Hassan laughed it off, thinking it was just another old woman's superstition. But soon he would understand exactly what she meant. First night, the whispers. On their first night in the house, exhaustion had driven everyone to an early sleep. Around 2 a.m., Hassan woke up feeling thirsty and went to the kitchen for some water. As he reached for the door, he heard something scratching from the other side. He hesitated, but then slowly opened it. There was nothing there, except for an old wooden cabinet pushed against the wall. It had deep scratches on its surface, like claw marks. The next morning, Hassan tried to move the cabinet, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if it had been nailed to the ground. Second night, Elif's scream. That night, a piercing scream from his daughter Elif's room jolted everyone awake. Running to her side, Hassan found her curled in a corner, trembling. "Baba?" "The black man was here," she sobbed, pointing to the dark corner of her room. As Hassan turned to look, he noticed an eerie shadow flickering against the wall. At that exact moment, the lights started to flicker, and then complete darkness. A deep, guttural whisper filled the air. It was as if someone was reciting a prayer, but in a voice too deep to be human. Third night, the secret behind the cabinet. Determined to uncover what was behind the cabinet, Hassan asked a villager for help. Together, they forced the cabinet away from the wall. What they found behind it sent chills down their spines. Symbols carved into the wooden floor and Arabic inscriptions forming a seal. The villager's face turned pale as he stepped back. "This wasn't placed here by accident, Hassan. This was sealed away." Hassan tried to ignore his growing fear, but that night he had a terrifying dream. A pitch-black figure roamed the hallway, whispering endlessly. The figure stopped in front of his bedroom door and in a deep, chilling voice whispered, "You have freed me. Now you will leave." Final night, the nightmare becomes reality. At midnight, the bedroom door suddenly slammed shut on its own. Hassan grabbed his flashlight and stepped at the far end of the corridor. Standing perfectly still was a tall black figure. As the figure slowly moved towards him, Hassan could hear its whispers clearer now. "You touched me. Now it's your turn." Panicking, Hassan rushed to get his wife and children out of the house. As they reached the front door, his wife suddenly screamed, "Hassan, where's Elif?" Hassan turned around, his blood running cold. The black figure was pulling Elif into her room. The door slammed shut before Hassan could reach her. He pounded on the door desperately, but it wouldn't open. The last thing he heard from inside was a whisper, "This place is mine now." The next morning, at sunrise, the villagers found Hassan sitting barefoot on the front steps of the house. His eyes were empty, lifeless. He kept whispering the same words over and over, "She is still inside."